Sorry for the break in transmission, the network fumbled. So like I said, trend line, the use of trend line. Now, this movement from this low, it's basically 3 waves on the daily time frame now. 3 waves on the daily time frame. And how do you use trend line to interpret when there's a change of direction? Using daily trend line from this low, if you, okay, let's say you draw a trend line from this low and you choose these 2 coordinates here, it's going to go this way. And this was a break. A break of that trend line tells you that this move is completed, that you are in a new move. So what you first see is that there will first be a break of that trend line, and which you must not take slightly. If price should close below trend line, in this case, a trend support, then it means that you should be looking for a sell. Now, the second wave is using this coordinate, 2 coordinates here, 1 and 2, and you draw. Once you have a break out of that trend line, which is the trend resistance in this case, it tells you that it's not a fluke. They want to change the direction. So now this is the third part of the move. Here we can use these coordinates and these coordinates. So if you draw these coordinates, then you will see price. You will see price come to test it. So that is where we can begin to look for. Let me see if I can put up my drawing. Now, in this case now, because I don't want it to be messed up, okay? In this case, this is a trend line, which is in turquoise blue. That trend line in turquoise blue. Now the trend line in turquoise blue has been drawn. Just ignore all other lines that you are seeing. Now, we should be looking for a bounce around this area. Should the price close below here? Should it close below here? You want to look at the format of the closure. Between here and here, the format of the closure, you want to look at that. If it's beyond 168, which tells you that price is going bullish. That is what we want to look at. So for now, we have an A, we have a B, we have a C. And the C leg could come to test this before we go up again. Now, why do we think that price is likely going to still go up, that this leg is not done? The reason being that even assuming we take this as an ABC correction to the upside, we expect at least an 100% extension, which the price had not marked up till now. So we're still looking for more upside. Now, but if price should break this trend in turquoise blue, then where the price is going next is to try this. It now means that price is coming here. But for now, this is where you look for the price around this area. And we might see price go in more deep before coming to test this area. This is the area you look for the price to continue to the upside. Now, the significance of the trend line is this. If price comes here, bounce back, and give you 3 waves, and is coming down the 4th wave, if it breaks this one, then it should aim at this. So if the price should come here and go up, then it means that this whole correction here is not done. Assuming the whole correction is done as an A, B, C to the upside, this price will come and break this trend support in golden yellow. So it's going to break it. So if it breaks it, it doesn't mean that the price is coming to break the low. It means that this whole triad is taken as a single bunch, and that will now become your W, and the one that is coming down will now become your X. And if that one comes down as the X without breaking this area, it means that price would ascend again and start another cycle of 3 waves, which we now call like 7 swing on the daily time frame. So that's the use of the trend line to guide your trade. And you can apply this on, different time zones. Then another concept I want to teach you, because it's actually at times difficult when you are looking for coordinates where price may test before they can change if they are pulling back or if they are correcting. Because when they are changing trends, you might not know. So the importance of that is that you might not start with them. Once price comes down, price usually will come and take a structure, will break a structure. And so once it breaks the structure on the lower time frame, for instance, this wave to the downside is like this 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. The immediate structure to be broken is actually here on this top here. So there's a correction here. That's the structure, and price broke it to the upside. So that means there is a change of character here, because the character now is becoming upside. For here, it's downward. Like also here, also the price had been coming down, and this was the first to go up, and price had been. So we look for change of character and change of break of structure and the change of character. Like in this case now, you can't call this a break of structure, a change of character yet, not until it breaks this low, because this is the correction, that has to be taken, not this one, not even this one, because this one is internal on the day time frame. So you have to know the significant correction that you say, okay, when price comes to that area, there's a break of structure. So you are going to use that also on the lower time frame to plot your entries. Now, what do we expect going into the next week? So what we expect is that we might still see a much deeper correction to the upside on the DXY without taking up this area, and price will walk down close to, if you take this structure here and this high here, maybe between 618 and 76.4 pullback or retracement, Fibonacci retracement, price may test that area before bouncing back to the upside. Now, if we go to the euro dollar, so we are looking at the same thing. This is the structure that has to be taken out. This is the immediate structure, not this one. Once price will come here and take out this structure, it means that the price is turning bullish. At least it may mean that this structure is gone. For now, this structure is still intact. How do we know this structure is still intact? The trend line from this top to this area will go this way, has not been touched, talk less of it being broken. The immediate structure here, the downside, the trend line, of course, has been broken, which means this structure is done. So you are having this structure to correct this to this place. So we'll be looking at 618 to 76.4 retracement of this, and where also it comes to align with the trend resistance in this case. If I bring out my structure for my drawing here, we are looking at this trend line, this immediate trend line here. This immediate trend line here, that's what we are looking at. If I go to the 4-hour time frame, if I go to the 4-hour time frame, so this is a trend line we are looking at, because the all of that structure to the downside, the third structure to the downside, or the third wave on the daily time frame to the downside is still intact, not until it breaks outside here. If 4-hour candles or 1-hour candles should close on top of this trend resistance, then we are aiming for this area. So that is when you start considering being bullish. And ultimately, if this structure is broken to the upside, then you can think that the price now is bullish. I mean, the old three legs is done, and price want to correct is an X wave, and for it comes to the downside. But this is incomplete to the downside as an 100 extension. So we are looking at this price coming close to around 150, 1.15030, or at best around 1.15400. So that 40 pips range, we should expect price to come. But if I were you, I would be looking at 1.15000. So for now, with what is building here in this area, we might still have a much deeper correction to the downside. So if that would happen, this might be an A, B, and C leg to give an extended flat. Without breaking this area, price will push up to the upside between that area I just gave. Now, the next one is our pound USD. The pound USD it's very tricky. It's really consolidating too much, so I won't consider that as a good trade that I want to trade. If you look at the A leg and the B leg, so what the C leg has been doing, it's kind of funny. So what I'm seeing here, this looks like an A and a B in the middle here and a C here. So yeah, if you look at this triad A, B, C here, with respect to these, we might be seeing a running flat. Like this B wave could still be part of this wave, such that this becomes an A, B, C, or B, and a C wave maybe will give us a running flat, and before it comes to the downside. If I want to trade this, I don't want to buy. Let it come down, go up. So once it breaks structure to the downside, that is when I want NZDUSD. NZDUSD, yeah, this one also is now trying to recover to the upside. So that's a recovery. So at best, we are correcting this. This is 3 structures to the downside. At best, this is a structure that once the price takes it to the upside, then it's bullish again. So for now, we should be looking at a 50% 618 75 76.4 extension or retracement to the upside to look for. It might not really push that deep to look for a sell again. USDJPY. Like I said last week, I said that price may begin to, it might drop. So that's the intervention. And I said, if anybody wants to sell this area here will be a good place to have a small, what they call it, sell stop. But for now, what are we seeing here? With the first drop, there is an area that I marked that the price may make a U-turn from there. Let's see if, let's bring out the drawing and see if indeed, yeah, they broke it slightly. This is the area I was talking about. They broke it lightly and to test. But how many pips above it? That's a lot also. If you are holding big lot size, that's almost like 90 pips. So it's not small. So it's always good to wait for them to do this. And so we can look for a correction to the upside. So what we want to see is more correction, price is going up, more correction right now to the upside for further drop on USD-JPY. Then the last but not the least is gold. What is gold doing? For gold, the way I use trend to explain, let me go flip to the daily time frame to explain what to expect here. A break of trend line here tells you that this structure is a correction to this. And if you have a trend support here, a break means that that's the third structure. So we have 1, 2, 3, and this 1, 2, 3 is a structure, a complete structure that you can call a W. Now, this to the upside, because if you have your trends resistance somewhere here, it got broken, and you have this immediate structure to the upside. This immediate structure to the upside can be the X, and the one going to the downside can now give us probably the Y, such that this would now become W, X, Y to the downside. Now, the tricky part also is that this X that we are seeing in the middle, they may make it the A, B, and a C, which is a running flat before come to downside. That is a possibility. But what would be popular with me is this. If you take your trend resistance from this top to this top and you lay it across, if price should walk to that area and close above it, it means that the whole of this movement to the downside is gone. They are done with it for price to close on top of that trend resistance. So it means that is either they want to do a bigger correction to make that one an X, or that the price is done and is going up bullish. So that's how to use trend line in this case. Now here, if you plot your coordinates, this and this coordinates, down to this area, if this is not done, the price would only walk up to that trend line without breaking it. They may pierce it a bit, but they won't close on top of it. They may pierce it, and the price will resume its downward movement. So it means that what is most important now is this trend, immediate trend resistance, not this one. So if price should break this trend resistance, it means that this as a unit is done, this as a unit is done, and this one going up will now be a triad of A, B, C for X before they turn down again. So far, this upper trend line is not broken. So this is what I'm referring to. This trend line is ultimate. And this is the trend line we are watching for now between here and here, that it ought not to be broken if we are to see more downside. Now, what is possible here now is that this area at 4,380, it's a big resistance for price now. If gold should close on top of this to break it, it means that this whole leg also is done. They are going temporarily bullish to give you an independent leg to make it 1, 2, 3. But otherwise, it's looking like this C or the Y leg will turn into 3 parts. And what's that part? Is that this is the first part of it. They will now have in the middle A, B, C of an X in the middle, and probably will have a Y leg to the downside if the trend resistance here is not broken. So what is popular now is like we have to see of this, what correction is brewing here. And it's better for us to look at this as a possible A B, because the extension to the downside here, our price breaking this means that the momentum is to the downside. That is what we can gather here. The momentum shift is to the downside. For price to break and close below this low, the momentum is to the downside. So we regard this as an A wave, a B wave, and probably a running flat. So you should expect price to walk up to like 618.76.5 or 4 without breaking this top. And if you want to sell gold, you look for a change of character on the 15 minutes time frame or 5 minutes time frame around this area once the price turns to the downside. So that's what we mean. What do we mean by break of structure? Let me try and do something for you to understand what I meant by that. It's good that we understand what it's meant to have a break of structure. So it means that the price probably is first making higher up like this, higher, then higher high and higher low like this. So this is what the price had been doing, going up like that. Also going down. So that is what price probably had been doing. And that is the uptrend that the price had been creating on any time frame. So seeing this, that is the way the price had been going. So for me to look for a sell, because you don't know where it's going to end, the first thing to expect is that price should first come to the downside and break this. So if price should do this and break this, here at this level is our change of character or a break of structure around this area. So this is at the point, because this is the last structure to the upside. This is the last structure to the upside, and the price breaks it. So you need this. And with this on the lower time frame, you can now begin to look at your 15 minutes or 5 minutes time frame to now look for, so what the price will now do later is from here, the price will correct. After breaking that structure, price will always correct. And the price, so we'll make it down. So this break of structure is what is needed for you to confirm if you are going to. So you look at that at the critical area, because those critical area at times, okay, this is where we expect price to turn, and the price gets there, breaks through it without changing direction. So it's difficult at times, but oftentimes you might not really have all the luxury of time to continue to check, but you have to be disciplined to check. So the price coming to break this structure, you look for a retracement, usually around 50 on the lower time frame will be good for you. If you want to look at it, your 50 retracement around this area. At times it might not get to 618, but at most maybe 75. But your 50 on the lower time frame, on 5 minutes time frame, the number of pips might not be much. If you are looking at it on the 1 hour time frame, then the gap of the stop loss in terms of your pips might be much. So that is what you should be looking at here. So a break of structure, a retracement on the 5 minutes time frame or 15 minutes time frame, then for a more downside. And in this case, of course, once you have a break of structure, your stop loss will be above this area. Now, with that said, what I've told us is that on the lower time frame here, where I expect gold to, get to, because this is the structure here. So we expect gold might still go down, correct, a bit to the downside. There's still more downside for this trade. I don't believe they want to go up. So we are almost at 618. So around this area of 4215 around 4,280, 4,300, this area, this old area is where I will be looking for a change of character. And so what character are we looking for? This will be a character. This will be a character, but this is internal. I might look for more characters to be formed to the upside. This for now will be a low that price is not expected to come to take out. Price breaking this low means that the price most likely wants to go down. The price should come here. For now, we may see a more low, or the price may just continue to push up and drag until it comes here. With that said, I've come to the end of today's update. Do like, share, comment, and share this with people, friends, and family. Bye.